say before, and with with this kind of thing. So, and is with that is with the always like the background uh, is important, because like for example, even if human skin and paper is different, very very different, for many different reason, for many different reason, because yeah, paper is not human skin. Paper is made from tree, and yeah, and some it's always different paper. How different paper are made, different material, different paper. Some paper is thinner, thicker, made from other. I don't know if, for example, if a tree paper, if you make a paper from one kind of tree, and other paper is made from another kind of tree, if that also going to be a different result of, for example, how a color. If, for example, if you take one is oil paint, the other one is aquarelle paint, and how much difference is will that be turn up? If the one will that give one result, the other one will get other result, and of course, so with all this kind of thing is because it's so many different colors you can use and different way how the color is made, and obviously it's difference of course with the ink. Different ink is made different way. One ink you like is tattoo ink is not the same as example other ink when you do with like all the time with the feather you write on with the paper, like ink is different with the ink that you have in the pen comparable to ink when you have for tattoo is not the same, because it's very dangerous. Example today use that it's different how ink is made. One ink is especially uh, look for in the laboratorium, how what is safe, what is not safe, and all all professional artists always know what they order into the studio they work in, because if one customer gets sick of the tattoo you get because it's toxic ink, your whole business is ended right away. It's like faster than a bullet from a gun. Like it's ended like super quickly, and so this, you have to be 100% safe, and you have to know exactly. There is a reason why. Like I think today you can learn in the tattoo or the tattoo university, an art university. I don't know what countries have it, but I think some countries have university, and you go to learn about art. Then you go from step 1, step 2, step 3, step 5, step 6, and all these kind of thing, different steps. And then you have to look safety. It's so much work, and it's hard. It's extremely hard business, because it's human body you work with, and then then it's like I heard somewhere that you some colors they cannot use because the the controls about this color is something in the color that will not make it illegal to be sell on the market, because they have something in the color, and and this kind of thing. So yeah, yeah. So this kind of thing. So it's very important to understand, and yeah, and there is I think this thing I think is interesting is about this kind of thing, how something work and how something do not work, and just interesting. You can always be interesting in the thing, and to learn something, but is yeah you is interesting because the more about example colors, and but to do yeah always go always always go to professional artists. Always, not even think about go to some friend you have. Always go to professional artists, because number one, you're gonna get a super tattoo. Number two, be you're gonna be safe. This number two, uh, and to go to somebody's to friend that are not the artist is very very stupid, because they don't know how to clean the needle. They don't know how. You have to always throw away the needle, a new needle. They don't know exactly what ink they're gonna buy. Some ink is look the same but are a bad copy, and that copy can be very very dangerous because they are made in a dangerous way. There is many good videos for that. A good example. One example is if you, it's called, I think it's a UK tattoo artist, and he described what's the name of the video? The name is real tattoo ink. I think the name is called that. Real tattoo ink versus fake tattoo ink, and they look very similar. If you look at the picture far away, it looks very similar. But if you look closely to the ink bottle, you can. He showed it on the video. He showed how huge differences is with that. So, and that is very very important. That if you should never do it, because some places are gonna sell ink and tattoo machines, but I think that is very bad, because if you buy something and you don't really know how to handle it, can be very dangerous result, because maybe it's one thing you can do. You know exactly how to do beautiful sketches on paper and with pencils and this kind of thing, but it's a different thing when you come to human body, because it's going to safety reason. And I think, so I say before, always go to professional artists that work in a professional clean studio, because it's safety reason, and I think that is common sense. And I always go to my tattoo artist, because I always want to be safe, and I always want to get what I think is a good tattoo, and I always get a good tattoo because I go to professional artists. And maybe me and my artist do not agree. Most of the time we don't agree, but I still get something I always want, and I always gonna be come home with a good result, because I go to professional. And so that I think is extremely important. Is always with this kind of thing, because it's a tattoo is for life, and if you not take laser, of course, but tattoo is something for life, and you absolutely do not want something that's gonna look like bad on your skin if you go to somewhere, and is so that is one thing. And the other thing obviously is to look around the computer and to learn different things, because, as I say with the other video, is that not all tattoo artists is the same, gonna do it the same way than other one. Some artists specialize in one style, and some artists are specialized in one is very good in different skin tone, because they have very much diverse set of customers. And maybe it's more today should have it comparable to some years ago. And because different skin tone gonna get different result. It's not like we're gonna get different results, So it's very, very important to understand that just because you see on, so this, there is a reason why I do this video. Because you see my two the two tattoo, the same one with different new and hill. This is the reason why I do it, because to show that sometime one color can look huge differences when it's healed comparable when it's new. And to see the differences with the colors, like something can look so different comparable to the other one. And yeah, so to show different like result. And of course I have done other video with this same thing to show but different colors of all the video to show different results. And because I think it's important to see this kind of thing. And I don't know, I don't have seen so many more who have do this kind of videos that show the healed work of their own tattoo comparable to when the tattoo was new, also new from the studio, fresh, new from the studio, to show that result in comparison with the tattoo. But like one thing is very interesting. If you look exactly when you look on the internet, you write down healed tattoo versus new tattoo or tattoo monologue, you can see how some color looks one different way. And of course, if you always have to write down on darker skin or brown skin to see the healed work there. And it's very interesting that how something can be like look like this and something gonna look like this, and some colors is looks like, for example, for me is like dark purple is not really a very good, not gonna get very good result comparable maybe to green, for example, comparable to green. And of course there's many different versions of green. For example, Oliver green and lime green will make one color gonna be more dominated and over the other color. For example, I think Oliver green is more dominated over lime green, and purple is much more dominated than another color. For example, red. If you take some drop of red in the purple, you have to know how much red you're gonna have to get a different result. So the thing I think is, for example, magenta. And magenta is a good color, but I think magenta is the way to get a good purple, because magenta is a different. Magenta is special. Magenta is very special color, because it's under the radar, and it's different. Magenta is what's the color again? Magenta is red and, I'll probably say wrong now, red and green. Sorry, red and blue is magenta. So red and blue will be magenta together. And so yeah, you have two different mixes. So when you mix the sample, then you know if the red is more dominated over the blue, then magenta can be good, because red is often very good color to use on darker skin tone. Because I have some red color tattoos with red in it, and I have for a very long time. Two of them have very long time. I have red, and some colors gonna be very is some color is more dominating over the other color and this kind of thing. And yeah, so and as I said, yes, always the same in other video is that sometimes a tattoo can look they are healed, but they are not yet healed. That can be like a boomerang effect and go back again to the way there was before. The scab fold off, and because it's the ink is under the skin, so the first layer is that you see the color is under the skin. You don't see the. I don't know how they never really explain. They don't really ever explain in a way. Like only thing I know is that when they put the ink go under the skin, but I don't know. It's gonna be super interesting if we have something that they can see how the ink go around in the body, in the arm or where you have the tattoo, how the ink gonna look, because if the ink is under the skin, they're gonna mixed up. They're gonna be mixed. So the mixture gonna make a differences. So some tattooers say that if you, it's like you take a brown bake paper and you put it over a painting, and then to see it, almost like a shadow over the paint. You see some like for example when you have when it's almost like night, and you have a painting and you see the painting get darker because it's no sun on the paper, or the background, it's gonna be a different result. So everything gonna be different result what kind of background you have. If you have something that are black against black, you're not gonna see. But if you have a white thing against a black background, you're gonna be very visible because it's different, contrast and this kind of thing. So, and something gonna make it lighter or something gonna get darker. With everything from tattoos comparable to paintings on paper, on wall, on stone. For example, if some people do graffiti art on a stone wall, and the comparable, if you do exactly the same art piece but much smaller on a paper with exactly the same color, and the background on is like a brown stone wall, is orange brown, comparable to white paper, you're not going to get the same result of the coloring because it's different. The stone wall is very different color background comparable to a white paper, and this can be, obviously a tattoo is huge different from that because the ink, the color go in under the skin. It's not over the skin, it's under the skin. So there is the reason why you cannot swim, or you cannot go, you cannot do something that can get a lot of sweat or water into the skin, because it can be if much dirt come into the open wound of the arm or the leg or where you have the tattoo, you're gonna be infected and all this kind of thing. And so it's something that it's like an open wound will get a result. And so there I think there is a reason why I think it's difficult if the tattoo artist have not give a good explanation. So artists give a good explanation to customer, because under the skin is one thing, but I think is very much more. It's not easy to understand this thing, but because how can you explain a way is very, like, if example, when I go to my tattoo artist, for example, if he say, for example, just he never say that, but is for example. Uh, Example, this, if you take this color will be like a toned down 5-step, and this color gonna be under the skin. Um, it's not over the skin, it's under the skin. And is if somebody have learned lots of things, an art artist, work as a tattoo artist in the tattoo studio, is very very big differences comparable to explain something to somebody that do not know anything about how um, tattoo works. And then you can do much more complicated than that. You can explain what in the ink to somebody, and that is also a hard thing to understand. So I think it's very very fun to go to get tattoos, because it's not only because it's nice to get something cool on your arm or your leg or your stomach or your back or wherever you have the tattoo. I think it's very fun because it's almost like a mixture with you go to a doctor in some way, not really, but some way. And the other way you go to a professional artist, and it's like one artist is work with human body, because you put tattoo is to put art on the human body, is ink into the skin. It's not ink, it's not paint on the wall or a car or a paper or something other material is under the human skin. And that is, I think is interesting, because it's so interesting how much work they have to put in to example an art piece. Example, if you say a full back piece, and how much they have to know what is good combination with this color comparable to this color, or if you have black and gray or black work, whatever kind of style you have, how a result will end up, because then you cannot do a full back piece in one day. You have to go many different times to fill in the different pieces, and something gonna heal over the time, and maybe you have to fix something. How can you put this? Yeah, there's lots of work and different planning, and of course every human body works differently. From somebody, human is much longer, shorter, thicker, thinner, different skin tone. Some skin tone works different. Like everything is huge differences, because paper is one thing. Almost is all paper almost the same shape, but just different sizes of the shape. But human body can be thick, thin, darker, lighter, brown, and all this kind of thing. And yeah, so I think there is a reason what I think is interesting about tattoos. Never want to be a tattoo artist, absolutely not, because I'm more in this. Not really. I'm more interested in how something, but interesting thing about something that are complicated. I'm interested more about that, and how can I say it? I'm more interested in how something that are very very popular, for example tattoo, how that will be in the future. How much gonna example needle, or what is gonna be the more way people gonna get tattoo, how much difference gonna tattoo gonna look like in the 50 years from now. Do we gonna have like mechanical machines? Do we gonna have like in the future, maybe 2 or 50,000 years ago, from now 2000, like so many different way. Because like for example, not example, the new thing is like obviously vegan ink is a very new thing, but vegan ink is not like it's not in the way we have vegan, the way vegan ink is today exists is not have not always exist in the tattoo studios. That is not have not always been there, and yeah. So with that is that so many things have be going to be different comparable to many years back. How something was like some colors gonna is much more version of colors today comparable to how color was before, and so you can get much more different version of colors comparable maybe from 5 or 6 or 11 years ago. So I think, and of course obviously the more style is up now. Before originally you have tribal, what's the other one it's called, uh, old school, and of course obviously then you have other style like Japanese tattoo style, and different way. It's so much difference in how, and of course different from the wooden stick. How do you do? From a wooden stick comparable to electronic machine, of course, and sometimes some machine is much more modern, and some the one line, three line, like some machine is very super machine, and I think more and more and more and more in the future, the machine's gonna be very very more advanced. Some machine maybe in the future can do a whole sleeve in one go. Maybe machine like some machine gonna work really quick, can do exactly the same work that a machine, older machine, have to take maybe 9 or 10 hours to do. One maybe in the future one machine maybe can do a whole sleeve in maybe 1 or 2 hours, comparable to 9 hours. I don't absolutely don't know, but maybe in the future there is machines that are so quick that, but you are obviously gonna pay the same price because it's art for life. You have art on your arm, but the artist gonna have more customers because he can do much bigger pieces quicker, and he gonna get the money quicker, and so this kind of thing. So I think is the future. Is one part of the future is machines that are gonna work much faster, and maybe some machine already have input to them colors already. Like for example, some machine maybe have maybe for the future green, or you can put it like almost, I don't know if it's like gonna be like a printer, like almost like a tattoo machine printer with different ink patrons. Like for example, if you maybe can put in 5, 6, 7, maybe 5 or 10 different ink patron, like example tattoo ink obviously, into the machine, and then example if the customer say or maybe if you put much more futuristic to it, maybe you can have like a scanner. So if the customer have like example dark skin or brown skin and light skin, you can scan the skin. You can scan the tattoo on the skin, like you scan it, and maybe then you can see some green lamp or red lamp on the machine, and say okay, the machine look blink red, then mean the color will not be good. If the color the machine light green, the color gonna work, and then the artist can know, okay, if you use these colors, this color will not work. If you use other way, if you use this color, maybe you have to come back in 2 years. So how much do you want to spend? And the machine, you turn on the, like in the future, just speculate for in the future, like maybe you scan to see the best placement of the tattoo. For example, you don't need anymore like a paper machine. You just have the machine and the scanner and this into the same machine, and you scan the arm and you see, okay, this tattoo and this placement is not so good, maybe you should have it this way, and you scan it, you can see the whole back piece like scanned on the body, and then they like almost like a photo machine that can put the picture into the skin, like the, and then you can do the tattoo, and then you maybe you can see also the other way, you can see something like scan into the bone to the skin and see all, yeah, maybe, I don't know, but maybe in the future it should be very cool if they have it, because then tattoo artists can save lots of time, and you can save lots of time, like me and other people that like customers, because you get something right away, and and then you go home, you hold a whole sleeve, and you maybe, yeah, all this kind of thing, because it's yeah, maybe for the future like something gonna be this way, that more machines gonna make things much more quicker, and like what I said before, some machine maybe gonna have ink already into the machine that you can just put into, say, okay, you want blue, okay, then you switch a bottle, thing on the machine, then you have blue ink already in the machine. This kind of thing, I don't know, but for example, this fun example for the future, and this kind of thing that gonna, and then maybe you can always, sometime maybe you can tell into the color how much darker or how much lighter the ink gonna be right from the start. Maybe, I don't know, maybe for the future, and lots of things gonna be very interesting for people in the future, like many different things, and yeah, so that is really everything I really want to say in this video, and with all this kind of thing, and I hope this video was interesting, and yeah, so yeah, okay, bye.